everybody, this is the BLB Cuber and welcome back to another video. So in this video today, I will be reviewing different cubes at different price points. So these cubes range all the way from $5 all the way up to $60. So here are the cubes I have here today. So first of all is the Yushin Magic, the Valk3 Power M, the MF3S3M, the Yushin Kaiden V2M, the Moyu Weilong W M, the Yushin Huanglong M, and the GAN 356 XS. So let's get right into the video and start reviewing. Okay, so first of all, before I start the video, I just want to talk a little bit about what I will be saying about each cube. So first of all, I will be talking about how good the tuning quality is, how much they cost, if I think they are worth the cost, and the good things and bad things about each cube. And it will be taking about 2 to 3 minutes per cube. And also, sorry for not uploading for quite a while. I will definitely start being more consistent once I'm finished editing this video. So other than that, let's just get right into the video and start looking at all these cubes. Okay, so the first cube I have here is the Yushin Magic. So Yushin Magic is the least expensive cube on this list. It comes in at just $5, and I'll put a link to if you want to go get it in the link in the description if you want to go to a Cubicle and get it. So the Yushin Magic is a cube that Yushin released a few years ago, and I think it is a very good cube if you're just a beginner wanting to get into speed cubing. So some of the things that are really good about it is it offers very good performance for how much it costs. So first of all, let's just look at corner cutting. So if we do just a standard cut, can almost do 45 if they'll pop there. So the cube every so often does tend to pop, but let's just do a reverse cut now. So as you can see, corner cutting performance is very good for how much this cube costs. So corner cutting performance for this cube, it can actually compete with some cubes at like even $20 depending on the cube. So some other things I really like about the Yushin Magic is it is extremely fast with no setup. So let me just show you that now. It does still have some speed. So as you can see, it's a very quick turning cube. So some of the other things to note about the cube is it does have a faux bright cutter scheme, and that is the exact same if you get the stickered version of the cube. So some other things I really like about the Yushin Magic is it's a very light cube, and it feels very light when you're turning. It's not the most premium cube, but it is definitely, for the price you get, that's not really a big issue. Like, it definitely feels really like inside. So other than that, that's really all I have to say for the Yushin Magic. If you want to go get it, I'll leave a link in the description. So now let's go into the next cube, which is the Yushin Kaiden V2M. Okay, so here is the Yushin Kaiden V2M. So the Yushin Kaiden V2M is a budget magnetic cube that Yushin released in 2019, and in my opinion, it's one of the best budget magnetic cubes you can get, and I'll explain why. So after I broke this cube in, it got really amazing, and I do have a more in-depth review on this cube that I'll leave in the description, and I'll leave a link if you want to go buy it. So now let's just do a quick solve, and I'll show you what turning is like. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So as you can see, the tuning is really good. So I'll explain what I really like about the tuning. So first of all, the Yushin Kaiden V2M is extremely smooth, and even out of the box it was really smooth, and I'll explain that in my other review video. So it's a very smooth turning cube, and there's almost no bumps while you're turning. You can feel the magnets, but that's pretty much it. And the magnet strength is just right to a point where it's not too strong, but it's just right for turning. And also corner cutting is amazing. So let me just show you that now. So there's literally no effort with these corner cuts at all. Let's do a reverse cut. So do some M slices, H perm. So as you can see, it has amazing corner cutting. So some other things I really like about the Yushin Kaiden V2M is that these corners are a little bit more curved, so they won't poke you as much. Some things about the Yushin Kaiden V2 that are a little bit weird or just different, or that the Yushin Kaiden V2 doesn't have stickers, and it also doesn't offer a non-magnetic version, and these aren't stickers, these are tiles actually. So this is one of the first speed cubes I've actually seen with tiles other than the Rubik Speed Cube, which I do not own one of those, but I've tried one in a competition before. And another thing about the Yushin Kaiden V2M is it's very light, and it has a faux bright cutter scheme. So those are the main things to note about the Yushin Kaiden V2M. So overall, it's a very good budget magnetic cube, and it comes in at just $10. So for what you paid for it, you get a very good 3x3 if you're just getting into cubing. So now let's get into the next cube, which is the MF3S3M. Okay, so here is the MF3S3M. So the MF3S3M is a cube that Mofeng Jiaoshu released fairly recently, and in my opinion, it's a very great cube, and I was considering making my main, and I'll explain why. So first of all, the MF3S3M offers a non-magnetic version and a magnetic version. I have the magnetic version here, and it also offers stickerless or stickered. I bought the stickered version, but I believe the stickerless version has full bright colors and the stickered version has half bright colors, so that's kind of interesting. So now let's just do some turns and I'll just tell you what it's like. Okay, let's just do a solve here really quick. Man, I messed that up. My F2L up pretty bad there. Part of the reason I'm turning so slow in the entirety of this video is because I kind of have some pain in my pointer finger here, but that's not affecting me too much. So some of the things about the MF3S3M is it has kind of like a bumpy feeding almost, with the magnets a little bit on the stronger side, I'd say, especially once you tension it a little bit more, which I did. And this cube is extremely fast and controllable, so let me just show you that now. So this turning it has a very fast and controllable feeding. And so what you can do about this speed is you can just tension it and apply a heavy lubricant. That fixes that issue. And with to make it go smoother, you can just apply some silk or a lubricant like that. And that's the setup I have in this cube. And once you do that, it feels amazing. Like, you can solve it super good, and it's, in my opinion, very good for if you want a little bit more control in your cubes. So now let's talk a little bit about the stickers. So the stickers are it's a little bit more of a blocky cube. I could describe it as it's not quite, the stickers aren't quite in a shape where it doesn't look like blocky. It almost looks like a Valk from a certain angles, but that's just something that I think about it. Another thing is this cube is a little bit heavier than most cubes. Like, you can definitely feel the weight when you're solving, and I believe the magnets do add a little bit of weight to the cube. So some other things about the MF3S3M is it's, with the price, I definitely recommend it for the price it costs. I mean, there are better options out there, such as the Yushin Kaiden V2M, which I just went over, and I'd recommend that if you just don't want to spend as much and you want a cube that performs almost equally as well or better. And also the Valk3 Power M, which I'll be getting to that cube in a minute, offers very great performance, and it's just like $5 more. So now let's get into the next cube, which is the Yushin Huanglong. Here is the Yushin Huanglong. So the Yushin Huanglong is a cube that Yushin released in late 2018, and in my opinion, it's one of the best. It's a really good magnetic speed cube. So now the Yushin Huanglong is what starts to get into the more like premium budget magnetic range, I could describe it as. So the Yushin Huanglong is a more premium version of the Yushin No Magic. The Yushin Huanglong has a magnetic and non-magnetic version, where the magnetic version comes at $18 and the magnetic version comes at $25, and I'll leave a link in the description to both cubes. And I do plan to make a more in-depth review video on this cube in the future, and I will also link that in the description once I have that out. That might not be for a while though. But other than that, let's just look at this cube. So the Yushin Huanglong is a very, very fast cube, just some tuning, so I will show you that now. And it has pretty good magnets, so let's just tune it now. Okay, so the Yushin Huanglong is definitely a very, very quick cube, and if you're a rough tuner, it might not work the best for you, because when you turn the Yushin Huanglong too fast, it does tend to pop a lot, is what I've noticed from using it for quite a while now. And the magnet strength is, it's actually on the stronger side, I'd say, which is very good considering how fast this cube is. And I did end up tensioning it and applying some heavier lubricant just to slow it down slightly. And also the Yushin Huanglong is one of the smoothest cubes you'll ever turn out of the box. And I haven't actually turned the, I think I did try someone's non-magnetic version on it at a competition once, and it was the smoothest cube ever, and that's just something to note. And Another thing is about the Yushin Huanglong is it's a very light cube. So now I'm going to be showing you some cool features about it. So this was kind of an interesting idea, is that the corners actually have a little ball bearing in it. So now let's look at that. Okay, so here is the Yushin Huanglong corner piece. So now let me just open this up and show you what's inside here. So as you can see, there is a little ball bearing right there, and I'll just talk a little bit about that now. So what that little ball bearing does is it's supposed to make the cube a little bit more controllable and not overshoot as much. And personally, I have found that actually works. So that's definitely a pretty cool feature. And so let's just you can just put it in like the little ball bearings in like this, and this comes with each Yushin Huanglong. So now, and then you can just put this top back on and insert it back into a cube like this. So that's how you use that feature, and I personally find that that's really good. So now let's talk a little bit more about some of the other stuff about the cube. Okay, so the Yushin Huanglong also has a faux bright color scheme, which I really like in my cubes just because it lets you see in the dark a little bit better. So that's another thing to note, and that's the same with the stickered version as well, because I do believe you can actually get a stickered version of this cube too. And another thing about the Yushin Huanglong is that, as I said, it's very light, it's very smooth. So that's just if I had to summarize this cube, I'd just say smooth and fast are the two things. So other than that, let's just get into the next cube, which is the Valk3 Power M and the Valk 3. Okay, so now I'll be moving into some more premium costing 3x3s. So here is the Valk3 Power M. So the Valk3 Power M is offered in a non-magnetic version and a magnetic version, and I have the magnetic version, so that's why it's called the Valk3 Power M. So the Valk3 Power M is also offered in stickerless and stickered, and so the Valk3 Power with just no magnets costs, it is $25, and the magnetic version of the cube is $39. So it's definitely more on the expensive side of cubes. So now let's turn the cube and see if it's worth the price. And I haven't hardly set this cube up at all, so let's just do some turns. Okay, so the Valk3 Power M is definitely it's kind of an interesting feeding. It's more of like a snappy feeding, kind of like when you are turning it. Like the pieces just kind of snap into place, which is kind of interesting. So the Valk3 Power M is definitely a very, the magnets are kind of they're definitely on the heavier side, and overall this cube feels very heavy. So that's just something to note. Like if you're going to be solving it for a while, it's definitely very heavy, and that's very noticeable. It's definitely probably one of the heaviest 3x3 speed cubes you can get right now. Another thing about the Valk3 Power M is the stickers are half bright, and I believe the non-stickered or the stickerless version is full bright. So that's just another thing to note. Another thing about the Valk3 Power M is it is as I said, a very snappy cube, and the magnets are like very strong for what it is, and it's kind of like medium. The speed of the cube is medium, which is very good. It's a very controllable cube, especially when you're not going like max DPS. Like, just the magnets help it snap into place. And I recommend getting the magnetic version. I have tried the non-magnetic version, and it is not as good as the magnetic version. So definitely get the magnetic version if you can. So some other things about the Valk 3 is the spring system is kind of different. So let's look at that now. Okay, so here's the spring system. So as you can see, I don't know if you can fully see this, but under this spring, the spring is not completely straight, and this is open here, and I'm guessing that's to reduce some of the weight. So that's definitely a pretty good idea, and the spring is also kind of in a different direction, so that's another thing. So overall, it's a kind of interesting spring design, so that's the only thing to really note about the design that's a little different. So now let's keep looking at some of the other stuff about it. Okay, so overall, the Valk 3 is just a very fast and snappy cube, I can describe it as, and it's definitely, I would say, if it's definitely a very good cube if you're like an intermediate solver, which I would say that's the level I'm at right now. Like my best average is at like around 13 seconds now. So this cube it's definitely a very good cube, and I would recommend it if you're just an intermediate solver. So I definitely get the magnetic version too. So that's all I really have to say about the Valk 3 Power M. So now let's get into the next cube, which is the Moyu Weilong W. Okay, so here is the Moyu Weilong W, or this is a flagship cube from Moyu that they released, they released it at the end of 2019, and this actually was my main for a little while. So the Moyu Weilong W, or they offer a magnetic version and a non-magnetic version. I have the magnetic version here, so I definitely recommend getting the magnetic version, especially because it goes on sale and it's only like $2 difference sometimes. But so anyway, the normal price that it usually is the magnetic version, or the non-magnetic version, is usually $30, and the magnetic version is usually $39. So it's definitely a very premium price for a 3x3. So other than that, let me just show you some tones and I'll explain why I actually use this for my main for a little bit, and I'm still considering making it my main again. So let's just do some tones. Okay, let's just do a solve here really quick. Okay, so there's a quick solve in the Moyu Weilong W. So this cube is definitely very good just because it's insane. It's really, really smooth. Like, it's one of the smoothest cubes I've ever turned, and it's also very fast, and it has some interesting features with the mechanism that I'll show you here too. So let me just open it up and show you that really quick. Okay, so as you can see, there's like this blue ring around the spring, and what this is the dew tensioning system, I think they call it. And what this does is you can tension this all the way up to, I believe it's like 7, and with the tensioning too, I currently don't have it. I'm going to order another one, and I'm going to make another review video of this cube. So what you do with that though is you'll turn the tensioning system, and you can actually compress this even further. So it's almost like the GES system for GAN, but a little bit more adjustable and all-in-one. And also you just have your standard spring system, which you can tension too. So this will just make it more controllable. I have it on the medium setting right now for all 6 sides. So that's just something cool about the cube, and a very good feature in my opinion. Also, this cube has a Fulbright cutter scheme, which is very nice, and it also is a very it has very good corner cutting, which that's expected from any flagship cube. So it does easily over 45 degrees. And also with algorithms, it's very fun to do with this cube. And also the magnet strength in this cube is on the, honestly I'd have to say it's on the lighter side, kind of almost in the middle, but that's honestly pretty good, just with the cube, and you have all the tensioning systems, so you can tension it just right so the magnet strength works for your tuning style. And this cube, I'd recommend it for really any tuning style. Let me turn rough very quick. Like, see, it maintains that. Let me turn smoothly. Oops, messed that up. Not really a super smooth tuner. So as you can see, it works with almost any tuning style, I'd say. Also, this cube is a very it's a fairly light cube, so when you're holding it, it's not too heavy. It's definitely not the lightest, but it's on the lighter side of cubes. So overall, that's really all I have to say for the Moyu Weilong W. I'm actually considering making it my main again, and if you want to go get it, I will leave a link in the description for the magnetic and non-magnetic version. So now let's get into the next cube, which is the GAN 356XS, which is the most expensive cube on this entire list. Okay, so here is the last cube I will be reviewing on this list, and this is the GAN 356XS. So this is one of the most premium cubes you can actually get I'd say you can get right now. This is a flagship from GAN, and it has a lot of adjustments. So this is one of the most customizable cubes you can get. Like, just this cube, you can change your entire feeding just by hand, and I'll show how you can do that right now. So first of all, let's just do some tones, and I'll tell you how good it is. And I have this set up with Ancient Gravitas and Dignitas, and some DNM37 and Soap, which is, my opinion, is the best setup. So I have this up to like the maximum it can form. So let's just do some tones now. Man, I just can't stop tuning on this cube. It's just so smooth, and like almost, it's just so quiet too, which I really like. And also, premium versions of this cube are offered from the Cubico too. I won't be linking those in the description, but if you go to a Cubico, you can find those. But I will be linking just the main cube. So this cube is only offered in one variant, which is there's a stickered version and the stickerless version. So it's definitely a very, very good tuning cube. So I'd say honestly it's like the best and smoothest tuning you can get. And also the magnet strength actually you can adjust, and I'll show you how you can do that in a minute here. But first of all, let's just talk about the cube in general. So the cube in general is just, it's definitely a very light, I think it's the lightest cube GAN's ever released, and also it has the honeycomb design, as you can see here. Let me just put that a little closer to a camera. Hopefully that focused in. Let's bring this back down and talk a little bit more about it now. So another thing about the GAN 356XS is it is definitely a very fast cube and you can adjust it. So now let's look at some of the adjustment features. Okay, so here is the GAN 356XS piece. So as you can see, it kind of has this interesting magnet system here, and I'll explain how this works now. So what you can do is actually with your fingers you can move this back and forth. So let's say I want medium magnet strength, I can just do this and move this to this middle here, if I can get it. But honestly sometimes it's a little bit hard to get, but there we go. So as you can see now it's in the middle, so that's like medium strength. If I want it very light, you can move it all the way to the end and then you have the lightest magnet strength. So it's a little bit different from the GAN 356X, which I was considering putting in this video, but I decided not to, just because I want to try to make the most current cubes. And also I will be doing some more reviews with some of the new cubes that are coming out. I haven't been super up to date on some of the new cubes, but as you can see it's definitely a very interesting magnet system. So now let's get into the next feature, which is the GES tensioning system. Okay, so here are the accessories that come with the GAN 356XS. I still have the bag they came in. So now let's just look at what you can do with these. So let me just move my cube back in the scene here, and I'll show you here. So let's just take these out, and as you can see there are also some blue pieces in here, and I'll explain what those do too. So now let's take this cap off and look at what's down here. So as you can see, it's definitely a very innovative system. So now I'm going to show you how you can use this. So I'm going to show you how you can use this completely. So on this there are different numbers. So I currently have it on 3. So this is how much travel it will have. So now let's remove this and I'll show you how. So what you're going to do with this piece is you are going to move it all the way in. Let me just check something here really quick. So I have it on the Mac. So what you can do is you can just do that. Move that up with this to here. As you can see that I have, and you can just move this down to the little, it's like the marked out sign kind of, and then you can just take this completely off like that. So now you can see the inside of the cube, which is just it's a very cool inside. So as you can see, it has a different core from some of the older GAN cubes, as you can see there. So might be a little bit too far zoomed out, change that. Okay, and sorry if the audio gets loud and quiet, I'm just getting closer to a mic there. But now, let's say I want to put it back on. So you see these other little blue pieces here. What you can do is you can actually just shake that a little bit to get that out, and you can put another one of these in, and then you can just put it on. So for this, I'm just going to be using this piece just because these are the pieces I like, and it's very easy to put back together. All you do is just line this line up with the core here. Put the center piece in there, or the center holder in there, put the tensioning tool in, and put this back in. And I believe I had it on 3, so just move it back to 3 and you have it back on. So now what you're going to do with this tool is you can tension it down. So I have it on the highest tension personally, just to maintain control, because when you don't, it's definitely a very fast cube, and when you don't, it's not. So what you can do is you can just move that like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So actually let's do that again now. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's how you use the tensioning system. Now you can just put this cap back on and you have your cube back. So it's definitely a very interesting tensioning system. So that's all I really have to say for the GAN 356XS. And so the GAN 356XS, if you just want the most premium tuning cube you can get, I'd get this cube. So that's really what I really like about the GAN 356XS. So if you really want to get the best cube on the market, get the GAN 356XS. As I said, it's very expensive. It's $60 on the cubico.us, I believe now, and it does go on sale every so often for less or more, but $60 is like the standard price for it. So I'll leave a link to this in the description. I just recommend the GAN 356XS if you just want the most premium tuning cube you can get on the market right now. So it's definitely worth the price to me, and this is my current main right now. It's just a very smooth, buttery cube, and you can customize everything about it. So other than that, that's all I have to say for the GAN 3x3's. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. This definitely took me a very long time to make and edit. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more cubing content like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. And also, sorry for not uploading for quite a while. That will definitely change soon because I'll be making slightly smaller videos. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.